So thanks again for those of us that have just joined us this evening, and welcome to our What's It Like to Return to Education as an Adult live panel discussion. I'm Lindsay, and we've also got my colleague Chelsea from the marketing team, and we'll be your host for the evening for this event. Going to hear from some of our current students as they talk about their experience of returning to college as an adult learner. They'll be sharing their journey at the Manchester College, including the reasons for choosing to study with us, the support they've had along the way, and what their classes and tutors are like. So you'll get a real life account of what it's like from our students. I'll now hand over to our adult learner panel to introduce themselves. So we'll start with Jan.
Hi, my name is Jan, and I'm studying PGCE at the Fielding campus. I'm doing it part-time actually, so this is my first year, so I'll be doing my second year starting September, hopefully.
Brilliant, thanks, Jan. Then we'll pass over to Anna.
Hi everyone, my name is Anna, and I just completed my ASIS course in nursing and midwifery.
Alina.
Hi everyone, my name is Alina. I'm doing pattern cutting and garment construction at level 2 and at the Sheena Simon campus, and I'll be finishing next week.
Next, Jennifer.
Hi, I'm Jennifer. I've just finished studying the level 1 motor vehicle at the Openshaw campus. Yeah.
And then Larissa.
Hi, my name's Larissa. I'm currently studying my certificate in education. I should be finished soon. I did start off by doing my level 3 education and training and decided to progress onto my certificate of education. So finally finished. It's been amazing.
Brilliant. Thanks, everybody. So we're going to kick off with our first question of the evening. Of why did you decide to return to education as an adult? And just tell us a bit more about what you were doing previously, and then what you want to do in your future career. So I think we will start with Alina, if that's okay.
Yeah. So I'm doing garment construction, and I've been sewing since I was about 18, but I've never had that like course that I really wanted, and I found one at the Manchester College. And it's local, you know, it's really easy for me to get to, especially at the city centre campus. And it's something I want to do. I'd really love to go into garment construction and sewing. And it's just something that I've always wanted to do. You know, I didn't just sort of see it and say, oh, that would be fun. Like, it's something that I've always wanted to do since I discovered sewing, really. So yeah, that's why.
Brilliant. Thanks, Lena. Can we pass on Larissa? Do you want to tell us a bit more about why you decided to come back to education and adult and what you're wanting to achieve?
Yeah, I was working in a salon for 10 years and I just really wanted to progress. I decided to go into training and started training students. I did my level 3 education and training course a few years ago, and decided that I'd like to do.
Struggling to join.
Sorry, carry on.
I decided that I'd like to do like progress even further to go on to my certificate of education, just to basically get the degree in that. And I'd also been working for Manchester College in that time as well. So it all just fell into part, really. It's just about progression for me, really.
Great, thanks very much. And then we'll pass on to, I think, the next question. Also, we've just had another panelist join us, actually. So I'll just get her to introduce herself.
Hi, I'm Ajorka Badmos. Sorry, I was just there behind, and I don't know why I didn't come up for some reason. I'm actually studying at St. John campus. I'm studying medical administration course.
Brilliant, thank you.
Thank you.
So next I'll move on to our next question, and we'll ask a couple of different students this. So why did you choose to study at the Manchester College? This would be to all students, really. So can we start with Anna, perhaps?
So I decided to study at the Manchester College because I knew about it through family and friends. And immediately when I was looking up at access courses, it was already like there was a lot of options for me for what I want to do in the future to go into nursing. So I stuck to it. And when I spoke to the staff on the phone, they were really quick to answer and they were there for me as well. So that's why I wanted to study at Manchester College.
Brilliant, thanks. Jennifer, why did you choose the Manchester College?
I chose the Manchester College because I heard about it through friends, and I never really looked into it when I was at my previous college, but wanting to do motor vehicle, I started looking into like what they could give me. And when I came in to enroll, it was really quick. I was sat down straight away. I was with the head of the department, and he like gave me all my options of what I wanted to do, showed me around straight away, and it was like I felt like quite important and quite like how they wanted to bring me through, and it made me really want to choose the college because the staff were amazing. When I went into the garage with the motor vehicle, I've never seen anything like it. It was one of the best from when I was at my previous college. They supply more things as well, which I just thought this is for me, and I really wanted to go for it, so then I did, and it was probably one of the best decisions that I've made.
Brilliant, thanks Jennifer. Did anyone else choose to come to the college because of the facilities and they thought they were outstanding?
Yeah, I actually came into the college, like everybody said. I think it's almost the same thing with me as well. Word of mouth and the support you get a brilliant support from the college as well. It's so brilliant. So yes, it's great.
Fantastic, thanks. And Jan, do you want to tell us why you decided to study at the Manchester College?
Yeah, I don't know if mine's a slightly controversial answer actually, because the reason I chose to study at Manchester College was because it's the easiest to get into. For my particular skill set, I've basically been dealing with computers for the last 30 years or so, maybe 25 years, I've been a bit of 30 years. But in that time, I've not really gained any qualifications, and as such, standard colleges just wouldn't give me a look in. I don't know if it's partly to do with my age or partly to do with the fact that I've got the qualifications, or maybe everything to do with the fact that I've got the qualifications. But Manchester College did accept me, and at the time, it was a toss between level 2 or level 3. And as long as I passed the test, so when I went into enroll, I was given a test. It was just a general computing test, and I did reasonably well at it. So I was given a shot at level 3, which I feel very fortunate for. So it really helped me going in. But my motives for studying at Manchester College weren't because of facilities or anything like that. It's just simply because, the easiest route in package education.
Oh, thank you. Alina,
as well. Sorry, just gonna jibe in there, just while you're talking about, like location, and I think that is like a good, a big draw for some people, because like for example, just off the top of my head, like a course in hair and beauty or theatrical media makeup or something in that with that subject, we've got a campus in the north and a campus in the south, and it's the same for quite a few other subjects. We've got multiple campuses dotted around Manchester, and just because say if you wanted to study a particular course, we may then we may also offer that at a campus that's closer to you. So it's a benefit. I mean, you kind of said it, as if it was just ideal for me, but it's a valid reason, absolutely, because at the end of the day, as an adult as well, you've got other demands in your life. Not everybody can get on 2 buses or train. It's not ideal for everyone. So the fact that it was local to you is definitely it's a great draw, really.
Yeah, I think you're right there, Chelsea. I think the locations of the campuses is really important, and I think convenience is really important to adults as well, because like I say, they could have a job already, they could have kids to worry about, and I think it is important, and that's why a lot of our campuses are really accessible from public transport as well. So there's we've got plenty of campuses for people to choose from. Alina, do you want to touch on why you decided to choose the Manchester College?
Yeah, I think it was similar to Jan. I think it was local as well, but also I went to an open day many years ago, and I really liked it then as well. So it was kind of a mixture of things, but I mean also is why I decided to study was because it was local, but it's different because why I decided to stay, because I did level 1 and finished level 2 now. It's why I decided to stay is, first of all, because the tutors are excellent, especially mine. The tutors, they've been in the industry and they know it, that, you know, they haven't just gone from you know, learning it to teaching it. They've been in industry, and I mean, my tutor is amazing, like, but all of them are, they really know their stuff. And also coming into education as an adult is a very different experience to coming in as a younger person. It's very difficult. It's hard to find the right words, but I feel like it's like they're treated as equals. You know, we're very you know, we're adults, you know, it's not like you know, we're not kids. They don't have to, I don't know what to say, but I think everyone kind of knows.
It's not like being at school is kind of
it's
what
not like
saying.
Yeah, it's not like being at school. There's a certain amount of trust there, if you like, that you wouldn't necessarily get with a younger person, through no fault of anybody. It's just the way that it is. But yeah, I think the main reason why I decided to stay was the tutors, because they're so brilliant, and they really, really know their stuff.
Yeah, brilliant, thank you. And I think we've got yeah, go on, Jan.
Alina mentioned it, and it just came up in my mind that actually she's right. You know, the tutors have been fantastic, and the industry experience and their depth and breadth of knowledge is just phenomenal. I know that my tutor at level 3, he's actually recognised as one of the top Cisco tutors in the world, and that's a form of recognition from Cisco themselves. So, you know, industry qualified and really, really experienced. These kinds of qualifications you have to renew every couple of years as well. So he's always fresh with all the latest information.
Yeah, that's brilliant. And I definitely think tutors are a huge asset of the college. I mean, like I say, many of them have got industry experience, so, you know, they've not just gone and got a degree and then decided to become a tutor. You know, they've really been there. They know, you know, some of them still work in industry. They know all the latest kind of tricks of the trade, etc. And they've all got connections as well, which I think is really important. And
they've also, so if I could just interrupt, they also are able to say, I mean, I know that my tutor has worked in industry, you know, from the 80s, and they're also able to tell us how things have changed and developed over time, and how the techniques have improved, and how, you know, what they did so we don't have to, kind of thing. And it's just really nice to talk to people who've had that experience and who've been there, and they can also tell us what not to do and what to do. So that's always good.
Definitely.
Can I also just interrupt as well, because don't want to bring it down to like sexism and stuff, but like being a girl going into the motor vehicle industry, I was straight away treated like an equal. I wasn't felt singled out because I was a woman, and that was really important to me. And it was the tutors who kind of made me feel really comfortable, which pushed me towards going towards Manchester College. Because when I met the head of motor vehicle, it was straight away like I didn't feel, oh, they're going to judge me. It was kind of like, come in, and I was like, oh, look, this is nice, this is different. And I just appreciated it a lot, which pushed me towards. And then the tutors as well were just so helpful, and they always try and push me to do what I think I can't do, which really helps as well. So just wanted to add that bit on.
I could just ask Jennifer, interesting, I'm just curious, are any of your tutors female?
No,
they're not. That's fine.
But then you're the generation that maybe, you know, you might go into that later in life. And I think just the fact that people, you know, like yourself, feel welcomed into the industry in regards to, you know, like the automotive industry as a whole, then the more women like you will then potentially think of becoming a teacher and be like, I actually want to represent, you know, be a representative of, you know, be a female, but also teach and inspire other females. It's just one of them cycles, isn't it, where to strive for change, really. But you're not the first person that we've heard from, you know, a female student who's gone into a traditionally male dominated industry, who have come into our college and said the exact same for you, where, you know, they was a bit anxious at the start because, you know, they realized that they're going into a male dominated industry, and, you know, they expected the college to be reflective of that, and they came and they was just amazed by how welcoming and how relaxed and at ease they felt, because of, you know, I guess they had pre you know, conceptions of how the industry is. Maybe that's how the college would be, but all the tutors are really lovely.
Especially during International Women's Week as well, they were very on top of trying to get me out to do work experience. They were like, we've heard this, we want to put you for it. And I was like, wow, like it was just kind of like, that's really nice that you find that important, because not a lot of males do. They kind of want to push it aside. But the motor vehicle, they were like, we want you to do it. We want you to represent our college. And that kind of I felt quite important. I was like, wow, thanks.
Yeah, that's fantastic to have that opportunity. I think, you know, I don't want anyone to feel either like they're interrupting, like this is a panel discussion. It's great to have back and forth and hear everyone's opinions and different experiences. And I think, you know, we're hearing some really great things and different things about the college that people really like as well. Before I move on to the next question, I think we just hadn't heard from Larissa on that one. So do you want to just expand on why you've chosen the college, Larissa?
Yeah, when I was looking to progress, I was looking at short courses to do my level 3 in education training award. And there were short courses that was running for about, you could do it in a week, you could do it in 2 days. And I noticed that Manchester College run over, I think it was about 6 months, 7 months. So I actually went in for a meeting and I was chatting to the tutors, and they was basically saying that, you know, you can't get that kind of level of education. You can't basically learn what you want to learn within 2 weeks or whatever. And they went into it in so much more depth. And I'm so glad that I did do that course, because if I didn't, when I was speaking to my other friends that had actually enrolled on like short courses, they didn't know half of the things that we actually learn in that course as well. And then when I chose to do my certificate education with Manchester College as well, they actually guaranteed a placement as well within the college as well. So that was just brilliant as well. So that sold it to me really, because I've always thought I didn't want to go to uni, because I see so many people going uni or progressing and then not actually getting a job at the end of it. Whereas I've got a full-time job now, actually working in Manchester College as well. So it's not been a waste of time. I'm like really, I'm so happy like for that opportunity that I had and the experience that I got while being on the course as well. I wouldn't have got that from a 2-week course anyway, I tell you that. So yeah, that's the reasons why I kind of chose to come to you guys, and it was the best decision I've ever made really up to now.
I mean, that's really positive to hear. I mean, the fact that you've been able to guarantee that work experience, then obviously got a job at the end of it. I mean, obviously that's, you know, what everybody wants really.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, what's really important is that you came and spoke to people and they gave you the right advice for you. And I think I just encourage anybody that's listening to this panel discussion to, you know, speak to the tutors, speak to the careers and welfare team. They've actually got a drop in on, I think it's Thursday, isn't it, Chelsea? If you're not quite sure what's the right course for you, what the right length, and they'll definitely advise you so that you can, you know, reach your goals and your ambitions, and make sure it's the right option for you, because they want you to enjoy your course and for you to stay, of course. So yeah, that's really positive. Great to hear all those different opinions from everybody. I'm going to move on to our next question, which is how are you all finding it managing your home or work life with your studies? So obviously some of you might study full-time, some part-time around jobs, you might have kids. Just be good to kind of hear from a couple of you in terms of how you're juggling, you know, education with your own life. So I might start with Alina if that's okay.
Sure. Well, how do I start this? So I was doing the course from September, that was level 2, and then I was actually made redundant in August, so I actually had quite a lot of time. And then I got a little job just working part-time, and then I actually got a job back in April, and it really helped that my job was quite flexible with allowing me to do my course on Tuesday. Like, it's quite flexi time, which I think a lot of places I'm finding like kind of odd, depending on what it is. But they were really good with allowing me to, you know, continue professional development. And I had to kind of rejig my brain to know, oh yeah, I can't just sit in the afternoon and do my sewing on like a random Wednesday lunchtime, because I have a job now, so I have to do it. But the tutors are really understanding about how people have work, and it's fine. And, you know, my tutors said, you know, if you've got a work meeting and you're going to be late, please, it's not a problem, as long as just let me know you're going to be late. If you can't make it because you have, you know, whatever reason it is, then like I'll make sure that you get the information. So I think as long as you communicate with everyone involved, you can manage quite well. And if you enjoy the course, then it makes it worth it.
Yeah, brilliant. Thank you. We'll move on to Anna next, if that's okay. Just be good to hear how you're finding, balancing home life with studies.
So I found it really good, and most of the time my teachers are really nice. Like in most subjects, we've got something that's called independent study, and they made us doing lessons so we can consolidate and do some work during the lesson. So they gave us that extra time. So I'll find myself after lessons that I can focus on my assignments, I can focus on other things, and also working 2 days in a week was really good because I could balance the time. It wasn't that I was always like, doing my assignments, because the teachers would like give us time as well during the lesson to do assignments and things like this. Even though my course was like, there was a lot of assignments in a short space of time, my teachers were really understanding, and I found it really good overall managing time, because my course is 2 days a week. So Monday in the morning I'll have one subject, and then on Wednesday I'll have a full day, so I could work in the weekend and other things and do other hobbies and stuff like that. So yeah, I enjoyed it.
Great, thank you, Anna. And then we'll go on to John next, I think.
Yeah, so actually, I didn't mention before, but I've actually been at the Manchester College now for about four years. This is my 5th year studying at Manchester College. I've started at Manchester College and then progressed up to UCEN, and then from UCEN I've completed my degree and now I'm doing PGCE, which is with UCEN at Fielding. So throughout that time, I've had different roles. When I started out, I was self-employed, and at that time, when you're self-employed, it's a bit more flexible. You can give yourself more flexibility. Working hours, because I was mostly on call doing PC repairs and all that kind of stuff. It was quite easy for me to balance the sort of work and private life and my studies as well. When I got to level 4 and 5, things changed a little bit because I ended up going into a full-time job as well. But throughout that period, from level 5 through to level 6, I was fully supported by my tutors. Any work that was required, exactly the same as Lena said, provided to me. And as long as I complete the work, they didn't really mind that I wasn't attending every single day of the week. So there was some flexibility on the part of the college. There was also flexibility on the part of my employer. So I appreciate, both of them helped me out. And also, I've got a really good family that's supportive as well. So that obviously helps massively, because, without their support, I don't think I would have ever started. So there's a balance to be had, and I think everyone finds their own sort of way. But usually if there's a convenient time that you can find, then you probably be able to find time to get a day into college as well.
Brilliant, thanks, John. And I think it is really important to have that support from, we've talked about support from tutors, giving you extra time, they understand you've got lives outside your studies, having a supportive family, etc. So I think it just goes to show that no matter what your situation, we'll always be understanding of what else you've got going on, and trying to be supportive of other commitments and stuff. And if you ever need any help, obviously you only really need to ask. I'll just move on to our next question, just to kind of keep within time. So I'd just like to ask what kind of support you've received from the Manchester College. So this could be anything from your initial application to finance information, to information on your course, or personal support, to help you if you're struggling at home or with your studies. So I'd actually like to start with Jennifer, if that's okay.
Yeah. Straight away when I started with the college, instant support, like anytime you go in the morning, it's always like, oh, hi Jennifer, how are you? If you need a chat, come in. Or say if I'm like behind on a deadline or anything, the teachers are really understanding and they will sit with me and do it with me. They won't give me the answers, of course, but like they'll kind of guide you towards the right way, and they will just make extra time for you. And the whole thing, just the application of getting into the college, being shown around, figure out where things are. If I'm lost, they'll help me. And then even say if you were stuck on the bus or something, you could always like ring your tutor and then they'll turn up, or anything. They're quite happy to support you, and they always remind you every now and then, like if you need anything, just come to me. And it makes you feel like an equal with them, and you always feel like you can talk to them as a friend, but as a tutor as well.
That's great, thanks Jennifer. And then if we go to Ajoki next.
Hi, yeah. Basically, I would say the tutor support is the greatest, to be honest, because it's the greatest achievement of the college as well. And there's nothing we're gonna say without having to refer to the tutor. And when everybody keeps talking, I'll just nod in my head. I'm like, I thought my tutor was the best of them all, and I could hear everybody being proud of their tutor. I'm like, no, that's not true. Mine is the best, to be honest. I just start to say they're really brilliant and they've made everything so easy, because if you're like stuck with anything, they're like your go-to person and they would always point you in the right direction, or they're like, I'll send me an email and I'll put it on through the right team. And then that sort of like gets you like, you've got that support bone there, support team to always ask for anything. I think we've all felt that like that, because all my colleagues, everybody felt like that. We've not had anybody that felt out of place or lost at any point in time. If you need anything, they will put you in the right direction. The welfare team, the guidance team, everything basically, to be honest. And like we're rounding up with the courses now, and already everybody's like, what do you want to do next? They're like always there and always willing, and that willingness is always there. So like anytime you need help, you feel important, you feel part of a team, you feel like you're being heard and you're not just being ignored. So I think the tutor actually played a really important role in achieving that. I think that's it. They sort of like, they're like the main person to go to first.
Okay, thank you for that. And then finally, I think we'll go to Larissa. What kind of support do you feel like you've received from the college?
So when I first started, I've got 3 young children under 10, and they was a lot younger at that time as well. So I had a little bit of help. I was working self-employed. I was self-employed and doing the course as well. So I had some help with childcare costs, and I was really stressing out at first, like, how am I going to do this? How am I going to balance anything? I want to progress, but how am I even going to do this? And I went to enroll on that day, and they put me in, I can't remember who I actually spoke to. I think it was like a guidance officer or something. And she literally said, right, well, you can get help with this. We can help you with that. We have on-site support for childcare as well. I actually used a childminder in the end, but I still got some financial help for that as well. And I would not have been able to do it and be where I am now if that help wasn't in place. So like that was major for me. As a single mum, I just, I really did need that support, and there was people there at all points and helping you and guiding you to, to as to who to speak to and where you can actually get help from as well. So that really did help.
I think that's really reassuring, actually, because I think a few people might think there's a couple of barriers to them getting back into education, like, worrying about finances, worrying about childcare. And I think, we do have a really great team at the college who can help you with those kind of things. And clearly they've, helped you, and it's made you make the right decision, and you're trying to better your future, and it's not kind of held you back. And I think, I'd just encourage anybody to, if they've got any queries, just to speak to the team. If you're worried and it's something that's maybe stopping you from trying to achieve your dreams, there's always some advice there to see if we can help you. So next question I'll move on to. So what advice do you have for other people who are maybe looking to change career, retrain, or upskill? I'm gonna start with Jan, actually, if that's okay.
Well, I'm in my mid-40s now, and I've been through quite a number of careers in that time. Not many of them required qualifications. Some of them were sort of experience-based. The ones that required qualifications on top of experience really forced me to start looking at, what I needed to do and how I needed to do it. And it's about opportunity for me and opportunity cost. So I had the opportunity, and it didn't seem like it was too inconvenient for me to go in and just go ahead and try it. I've been encouraged for several years prior to that to go into college and go into university and get myself a qualification. I'd always been reticent to do it simply because it always seems like a major inconvenience. You've got to spend 5 days at college, and then there's all the home study. How am I going to work? How am I going to feed my family? And all those concerns were, taken care of. It's either through the college, through student finance, through student support, through the actual tutors themselves. Everyone was there surrounding me and helping me throughout my years of study. So I would suggest that if anyone is looking to change career or upskill, just give it a go. You know, go into the college, ask a few questions, look at the courses that are available. You find that they're not as inconvenient as you might think. They're really, really beneficial, and you might get lucky, you know, and find that it's something that you've really, really liked. I mean, for me, it's something I've been interested in for years, so it was a no-brainer, you know, what course I wanted to get into. But certainly for people that don't know what they want to go for, there's tons of opportunities and there's tons of courses that we can sort of sign up for, or you know, at least have a look at and speak to an experienced teacher about.
Brilliant, thank you. And does anyone else want to add, you know, what advice they've got? Is there anyone here that has also had a bit of a change of a career?
Can I just say this quickly and just add to that as well? Basically, I think the website as well, the Manchester College website, is quite straightforward compared to other things. When you're looking for a course on what to do, I think it's really quite straightforward. It trims it down. It helps you sort of like get to know where you're going, what department you're looking into, where you're able to compare 2, 3 together and really see, is this what I want? And also someone at the other end of the phone, because when I wasn't sure when I started initially, I just called and then they were like, oh, they'll put me through to a team that will contact me back. And that was really helpful because that's something like when you're at the stage of you're not sure, because we just keep saying the tutors because that's after you've gotten in. But before you get in at all, there's still that support there to get you in the system. And it's then up to you to decide if you really want to come in or if you don't. And when you also come in as well, and when you have a chat with the tutors as well, they sort of like put you to the right team as well to say, look, this course might not be good for you. Why don't you try this course out? And if you're not happy, you can always come back on this. So I just have to put that in quickly.
That's really good to hear. Thank you. I'll just move on to the next question and start thinking about, you know, people asking questions. Obviously, you know, the students here who can tell you exactly how it is. I know we've talked about quite a lot of topics already, but it'd be good if anybody taking part in the webinar wants to ask any questions. So feel free to use the Q&A function and we can answer questions throughout. I think one question that I've got that I'd like to, you know, put to everyone really, you know, what are your plans after you complete your course? Are you going on to further education? Are you going into a job? Have you got a job lined up? Are you not quite sure? Just be interesting to hear kind of what people's plans are really. Maybe start with Alina.
Yeah, I'll go. So I mean, I love this ties into the previous question as well. So I would say that, first of all, if you're looking to change career, or what advice I'd give you, if it's something that you're passionate about and something that you can't stop thinking about, then please just give it a go. If finance is an issue, find someone you can talk to help you develop that. Like I said, there's plenty of people, there's plenty at Manchester College, especially when I was unemployed last year, that like it wasn't a barrier at all. I got people to help me to do it, and that didn't stop me from studying at all. So if it's something that you're passionate about, I would definitely say give it a go. And I realized that was me, and I would love to have my own maybe sewing studio or a business. I'd love to make little crafts or something. I haven't quite got figured it out yet, but I know what I want to do, and having tutors that have been there and are able to advise you in that kind of thing as well just makes everything a lot easier. I mean, if not easier, it makes you feel like you're not the only one doing this. People are able to advise you and people are with you. And also just talking to other learners as well. Like the support network from the rest of like my course mates is like brilliant. We've all got a little WhatsApp group going about different assignments, and you know, I think, is anyone having trouble with this? And everyone will go yes, 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 and think, oh good, it's not just me, you know. So it's a really good place to build a foundation, I think.
Yeah. And
yeah, the advice that I give is, if you really want to do something, do it.
Well, thank you.
There's no such, sorry, one more thing, there's no such thing as too late either. if a course takes 3, I'm 31 now, turned 31 last week. If a course takes 3 years, so what? You're still going to be 34 in 3 years' time, whether you've done the course or not. So
it's never too late to pursue your dream, I think.
Never too late.
You spend too much time in work, I think, to be doing something that makes you miserable. So I 100% believe in that. I mean, I think one of our older students is in their 80s. So, I mean, that just goes to show that, you know, people want to pursue the passions and give anything a go. So, you know, definitely. And I'd encourage people of all ages, you know, to get in touch if they want to, you know,
absolutely,
have a hobby or change their career. Like, you know, it doesn't really matter what age you are. Jennifer, what are you planning to do after you finish your course?
So I was gonna originally start applying for apprenticeships, but what I've realized is that I'm not ready to move on yet, and I want to pursue the next level, because I thought, oh yeah, I can just move on and I can forget about this, because originally I just came to Manchester College to kind of give me something to do, but the more time I spent there and the more time I spent with the people and the tutors, I realized that we've all built like a relationship around each other, and I want to carry on and to be able to say that I've done this many levels and to try and see how high I can go before leaving Manchester College behind and then pursuing a career. I feel like I need to go on to the next levels to find out what I really want to do, and the tutors are going to help me get there. So,
well, thank you. I've noticed we've actually had a couple of questions in the Q&A box. I'm just going to pass on to Chelsea, who's going to ask a couple of questions that our attendees have asked, if that's okay.
Thanks. So somebody called Megan has asked, has anyone received help with funding as a returning student who's attended university already? So I don't know if anybody here has already attended university and has returned and is able to offer, you know, your experience on that. And
I think Alina nodded her head there, did you?
Yeah, I did. I did a 3-year degree at Leeds University. And I was still able to get financial support. Obviously, I can't speak for everyone because I think everyone's circumstances are different. But yeah, I don't know how the funding works. But if your question is, can you still get help? Then yes, you absolutely can.
Yeah, there's lots of different you know, things that ways that you can be helped. You know, whether that is, there's things such as advanced learner loans, all sorts, but our support teams, I mean, we've actually got an event, I think it's tomorrow, tomorrow, which is it's called What Funding Options Are Available, and that's at 6 p.m. And then we've also got, after that is a finance and funding drop-in. So if you've got, you know, specific questions about funding, then you're more than welcome to attend that one as well, to get, you know, specific questions asked, you know, with our support teams who kind of do that on their day-to-day. And they'll be able to give you much more information. So I'll move on for that, but thanks, Alina. So somebody said, how would I approach the college for support? So out of anyone here who has already, you know, reached out to support, and I think we've mentioned it briefly, you know, what did you do? How did you reach out for the support? I think someone mentioned you spoke to your tutor and then they passed you on to the right department. Anybody able to?
I'll just chip that in quickly. When they said support, because I had child support, which is sort of like a finance, and I had to go through my tutor, and then they put me through to the welfare team, and then the welfare team were able to give me the direct email of the people handling it, and I was able to apply, and then they sent me the form. It was quite easy, to be honest, because they sent it via email, and all I needed to do was just fill it in and send it via email back to them. And they gave me the direct contact number to call them if anything pops up. And I was able to have my daughter, because she was 2 when I started. So I was able to have her in nursery all the time while I was in college as well. And it sort of like worked out well. And also, I'll just quickly chip it in as well, because there's also transport as well. Like Alina said, it depends on your circumstances, and everything is boiled down to that. But I think the teams are there to help to put you through to the right teams of what kind of support you're looking for. Be the tuition fee, or the for childcare and transport as well. The transport support was also done by my tutor. She was able to put us through to the right team, and it's just an email away, and you just put it in the email, and then they just send you the right direct link. I hope that answers it.
Yeah, I think it does. I mean, that one thing that I think some people are always reserved by is, you know, that they kind of don't want to reach out, or they don't know where to reach out, or they're a bit unsure, or, you know, they feel a bit anxious about speaking to someone, but then it's always the same. As soon as you reach out or to speak to your tutor, or just drop someone an email, whether it's our inquiries team or whether you get the email address of the welfare team, and then you'll find out that everyone is so lovely and welcoming, and as soon as you speak to them, whether it's on the phone or over email, like you'll realize how much support is available. And I think sometimes we're kind of I know I've done it personally, where you're kind of your own worst enemy, where you put something off and like, oh, I'm just going to put it off. But then as soon as you speak to somebody, you realize how easy it always just to kind of ask someone a question and they'll have all these answers for you and just help you literally instantly.
Definitely. If I could just add to that support thing as well, the mental health support in college is also, I think, fantastic as well. I mean, when I first got there, we all filled out, as far as I know, everyone fills out the information sheet, and I personally suffer with OCD. It's not like severe or anything like that, but when everything sort of kicked into lockdown again, whenever it was, I don't know, 3 months ago, months bleed into one, I don't know when it was, but I straight away got a message from someone at college just checking that I was okay. I can't remember who it was. I cannot remember who it was. It was a guidance, somebody just making sure that I was fine. Obviously I was, it didn't even occur to me, but it was so nice to receive that message, just to make sure that I was all right. And yeah, I'd never experienced anything like that before from any kind of that establishment. So it was great to see.
And that's nice to hear. Thanks for that. Go ahead, Jack.
Yes, I just wanted to say as well that we've actually had opportunity to contact the college. I've got children that are obviously still at college age. And for us, it was a simple case of making a phone call. So even if the person on the phone didn't know the answer to the question, they'd usually put it to the tutor, who would then give us a call back. So even if you're not a member of the college or enrolled and you've just got a general question, call that, I think it's a free number or something like that. And if you don't get the answer straight away, you will get the answer later on, and it'll be someone calling you back to give you all the information you need.
Yeah, no, that's a really great point, actually, Jan. Just if you have a question and you don't have a specific contact, you just phone the number that's on our website, and we can get that in the chat box as well. But yeah, like he said, like Jan said, if you call and speak to the team, they might not know the answer there and then, but then they'll forward it to the team, and then you'll get a call back or an email or whatever's best for you. So thanks for bringing that up, Jan. Okay, so moving on, we have got a question, and it's about online lessons. It's in September now. Nobody knows what September is going to look like because guidance is changing, obviously with the Delta variant. Who knows? And I think everyone here we've all been through it this year in terms of what's happening in our lives and with COVID. Someone said, do we think online lessons in September will it be online, or will everything be back to normal? And the short answer is we just simply don't know. But is anybody here able to just kind of briefly talk about their experience of doing online? Are you currently studying online? And I know obviously with Jennifer, your subject area is, in Larissa and maybe some others, is a bit difficult to go solely online. So just maybe talk a bit about that.
Yeah, when I started online lessons, I thought, how am I going to do this? Like, I can't really fix a car from my bedroom. But the teachers, they kind of did like the more theory-based side of it, which was really helpful. You don't really learn more than you do hands-on, which is a bit of a pain. But luckily, my dad likes to fix cars, so he kind of had me out, and he was teaching me as well. And it was kind of like communicating between my teachers and my dad, and then my parents' car, which I don't know why they let me touch it, but I did. And it was really weird, but the teachers tried to make it as normal as they could. The waking up at like 9 a.m, you could kind of like just talk to your teachers from your bed, which was nice. You didn't have to go anywhere. But they got on and they shared the screen, and they put down like the types of things, and they'd ask you questions, kind of like questionnaire, but it wasn't the same as being in class, which obviously that's standard but once we got back, we kind of got into the swing of things, and then they'd question you from what you were doing while in lockdown. So
well, thanks for that. So yeah, so short answers, we don't really know, but regardless of the situation, the college will be adapting, and we, you know, depending on the guidance that is released, we will kind of keep communicating with applicants on how that is going to look in September. Okay, so just last couple of questions now. So someone said, can I do college around a full-time job? Anybody here working a full-time job that's able to comment on that?
Yeah.
Oh,
Sorry.
two questions.
Sorry, Jan, go on.
At once.
My work is a full-time job and a part-time job, and I'm studying, so it can sometimes be a bit difficult, but it's not that bad, you know. So the part-time work I do as a consultant, that's about 20-25 hours a month, not too much. The full-time job, I'm actually a tutor at the college as well, studying my PGC. I'm doing my PGC part-time for that reason, but luckily the college gives me one day off. But yeah, you could basically fit a full-time job. I think you would need a day. If you were doing a full-time course, you'd use the full day. If not, the half day usually if you're doing a university course. Even at the college as well, they've got the full days and half days. But yeah, you could discuss that with a tutor or discuss it with the college as well if you're working full-time, especially if it's in the industry that you're studying, because that's just industry experience and you end up getting more knowledge and a deeper knowledge of whatever you're trying to learn anyway. So yeah, it can be done. It is possible.
Thanks, Jan. And you, Larissa?
Yeah, I think the college is pretty flexible. Like sometimes there's evening courses as well that you can do rather than just the daytime courses. I work full time and I also have a Saturday job as well, and 3 children as a single mother, and I've done it. So I think if you can do it, you can do it. It's just about time management and like managing your time properly, like diary, like I'm proper, like, you know, this is what time I'm doing this is what time I'm doing this. And I just think you have to sacrifice as well. Like I have to sacrifice my evenings or maybe get up a little bit earlier, get on my lunch break and study. My work let me have one day off, like Jan said before. So you can go into actual college and have that lesson. On a part-time course, it was only a one day, and it's kind of been a little bit easier with it being online as well. Some online lessons, because then I can work and do my online stuff as well. So it's kind of been a bit of a bonus for me this year in getting everything complete, to be honest with you, with the kids being at home and stuff as well. So, but obviously as well, like the other girl, like Jennifer said before, you get doing a practical course, it's just really hard to learn that vocational skill while you are online, but things have been adapted as well. Just going back to that, because I didn't speak before, but yeah, it is doable. It's doable. You've just got a time management, definitely.
Brill, thank you. And I think, yeah, you raised some really great points. At the end of the day, you're going to be committed to a course. So it's not going to be, we're not saying it's going to be a walk in the park, but there's going to be support there for you. And, it's also about, managing your own time. And like you said as well, importantly, making a few sacrifices. But I think sometimes you have to make a few sacrifices, whether that is, maybe the odd evening a week or more than that, because in the long run, it's going to be worth it for your career. So then just last question now, somebody's just is just wondering about the difference between starting in September 2021 and January 2022. Now, these are just different start dates. You can start kind of in year, which is the January. So, you might start a course and some people have already been there since September. I don't know if anybody here has kind of got experience of that, but it literally is just different start dates. Joki,
basically, there was a time I did hairdressing, and there were different start dates. Some people start in between the year, and then they still join the same class. I think it's just the school has made it flexible for some starting people to be able to come in, because some people can start in September for personal reasons, and then they rather want to start in January. Just like you said, I think it's just a different start date. It doesn't disturb anything, doesn't affect the course. The course will still run normally as it would. So it's just, I think that's it. Yeah.
Well, thank you very much, guys. That's all our questions. So thank you everyone who submitted a question as well.
Thanks very much, Chelsea, for going through that. Yeah, I think it's been a really good session, actually. It's been good to hear from different people of different ages, different situations, different vocations. It's been a really interesting chat, and we've had some really good questions as well. So just wanted to say thanks to everyone who's attended the event this evening, and thanks to all our students for joining us It's been really, really helpful. We do have more adult learner live panel discussions running until Thursday this week, and drop-in sessions with our tutors for all subjects. You can have a chat with them and find out a little more information. So please visit our website, tmc.ac.uk/TMC Live to register. If you would like to apply to Manchester College for 2021 entry, or even January 2022, please visit our website at tmc.ac.uk, and if you go to /adults, you can find all our adult provision on there, which makes it really easy to find your course as well. All the information about this is in the chat box as well. We do hope you have a lovely evening, and thanks so much again for joining us and for all our fantastic panelists. Thanks everybody.
Thanks everyone.